Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you uh late this morning for a album review, and this is for a new album review by Chevelle and their new album Niratias that I just got done listening to. Well, I listened to it on YouTube, but I do have the album downloaded on my phones and all that on this phone that I'm using for recording this video and the other phone too for my music player, but I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this album and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this review. Now, it's been like 5 years since the last Chevelle album, and their bassist Dean or whatever left the band back in 2019, I believe, or yeah, 2019. So mostly they were recording Niratias through 2020, and they were trying to get it out then because I was watching a Loudwire interview, and it said, oh, if people don't like this album, then we'll take a break for a while. And I actually liked this album. I thought it was really awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of weird moments in the album, like the sci-fi stuff. Like Sleep the Deep was really weird. Wormhole, if that's how you pronounce it. It almost sounds like wormhole, but it's VVURMHOLE. That's how they pronounce it. That's how they spell it or whatever. But yeah, Peach comes after Wormhole, and boy, I'm actually starting to like this song now. I didn't think my opinion would change on it, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's very weird at times with the who do you trust now? They'll take your arms now, they'll take your legs now, they'll take my hands. I've heard this song quite a bit now, and I really like Peach a lot more after listening to it multiple times. Remember When is growing on me, and I'd give it a 5 out of 5 now because I really like the melody to it. It's pretty cool. It's very hooky too and catchy. It's got great hooks in the song, and Pete's voice in it is really nice. But my favorite song has got to be So Long Mother Earth. It's the second song on the album, and it pretty much opens the album a bit with Pete singing, because Verrucht is just an instrumental. It's a really good instrumental, but it So Long Mother Earth pretty much is where Pete starts singing in the album. So there's a couple instrumentals in this album, but the weirdest one was Lost in Digital Woods. I just found that to be weird, like sci-fi weird. Not in a bad way, just I wouldn't say it's my favorite song to close the album. Endlessly was really nice, but still least favorite, I guess you could say. Those are the only two songs I had maybe slight issues with, was Endlessly and Lost in Digital Woods. Test Enough was really good. I really liked that. It was just mostly Pete strumming the guitar, the electric guitar in that song through most of it. It's only like a little over 2 minutes, like 2 minutes and 9 seconds, so it's not really that long. Ghost and Razor was very long. It was like 5 minutes and 52 seconds, so almost 6 minutes. So I'm like, damn. But I think my favorite songs on here have got to be Peach, Self-Destructor, So Long Mother Earth. Mars Simula was pretty good too, but I wouldn't call it a favorite. Pistol Star Gravity Heals was pretty good too. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. So there's a lot to enjoy about this album. It's just, there are some problems with the album, like certain songs that may sound very weird of Chevelle to do, and no, this isn't a terrible album. It's a pretty awesome album. I really like it. Uh, and I did like North Corridor a lot, but this one is very creative, very different, and it's a little weird without the bass in this album. But I guess they have a bassist to go on tour with if they go on tour, because this pandemic is really screwing up everything. It's screwing up artists trying to go on tour for their albums and all that, and bands as well. So it's really hard for some musicians to go on tour for their albums and all that because of COVID. And yeah. But overall, I think Chevelle's Niratias album was really awesome. I really like it. I definitely see myself buying this, which I kind of did buy it already. Just waiting for it to ship on Amazon. Uh, it's a little quirky of an album at times, but if you listen to it a few more times, you start to like the album, I guess you could say, is what I'm trying to say. So it's an album that may take time to grow on you, but it's enjoyable. So for score, I think I'm going to give Chevelle's Niratias album a 9 out of 10. I think it's slightly better than Day to Remember's new album. Even though Day to Remember's new album, I may have not really gone back and listened to it as much. I do like the album, I just don't think it's as great as I thought when I reviewed it last night. So if you saw me give it an 8.5, I'd probably downgrade it to a 7.5 now. Because it's average. It's just not impressive. Uh, so I gotta really go back and listen to the songs again. By Day to Remember, You're Welcome. And judge for myself what I'd really give it. So I'll have a stream by the weekend to talk about it. Or whenever I come around to it. But definitely comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the new Chevelle album, Niratias, if you've heard it. And if you like this album review I made for you guys late this morning, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can, support the channel. I think this was an amazing album. Even though they tried something different with certain weird sounds with this album. They wanted to make it sci-fi-ish with this album, so I think they succeeded on that. Pete and Sam did a pretty good job creating this album and bringing it to the light of day. And it was supposed to be out last year, but they did say if people didn't like this album, they're going to take a break for a little while, because Chevelle's been around for quite a while, and I think they are long overdue for a break, because it's already in the 2020s now, so the 2020s era, and they were successful in the 2000s mostly. Point One was pretty good, but I wouldn't call it great. And Wonder What's Next was where they started hitting the Billboard charts, and they started doing really good then. But Niratias is enjoyable, so I think you guys will like this album if you've already listened to it, of course. Sorry if I'm a little tired this morning. I got a really good night's sleep, and I was not in a great mood yesterday, but I think I'm a little better now. Starting to get better. I don't know if I'm 100%, but I'm starting to get a lot better now, because I was in bad pain in my mouth or whatever, because I had like a gum pain in my mouth, and it really bothered me yesterday. And today it's not so bad, But I hope you enjoyed this album review for Chevelle Niratias. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. I will return to you tonight for the Kings of Leon When You See Yourself album review, and Demon Hunter's Songs of Death and Resurrection will probably be by the weekend. So I wouldn't expect that album review to be out till like Saturday afternoon. So, because I gotta listen to it quite a bit of times. There's quite a bit of albums that came out this Friday. But definitely stay safe. Take care. Sorry that I rambled on pretty long. And I'll see you in my next video.